and we're going to attempt to go through here and do a grind. It's got a 5/8 inch disc. The motor's really not spinning up to speed, so there it is, stalled. And you got the 236 error code, 2, 3, and 6. So I'm going to take this thing inside and warm it up and see if that's the issue. So does anybody know any more about the 236 error on a Sparx ES200? I've had this unit for about 2.5 years now. It's built in 2022, and it's been a good unit. I was using this mobile-wise, and it was in the vehicle. Went down to about, say, 40, 45 last night, and it wouldn't work. It would go through and throw out a 236 error. The wheel would barely turn, and it would stop when it hit the skate. And so right now, this does work. It's been inside for about a couple hours. It's got full RPM, and it cuts the skate. And what it was doing, it was barely turning, and it stopped. And then it threw out the error code here, 2, 3, and 6, which shows up as cannot detect skate. So I think in some forums people said that was a defective motor, or it could be that this unit is not very robust for low temperatures. So maybe people can comment about that. This is a ES200 that I've had a couple years. It's throwing out an error code 236 up on here. So the motor has basically been stalling. About a month ago, I noticed that I had to go ahead and change the cam. I normally use 4 to about the figure skate setting, and then tried to use this the other day, and the motor stalls out. So I push this down, spin it. Doesn't really sound that great, but I'm gonna go through here, show you what happens. This normally has been in a car. So I've got a 5/8 inch disc, and let me see, attempt to sharpen here. The wheel's gonna go through. Not spinning. It sounds like the shaft's almost not even connected to the wheel. It's throwing out a 236 error code. It's a serial number 2208, so it's probably built August of 2022. And I've probably sharpened about 50, 60 pairs. It's been a pretty good unit, but the other day it was cold. And so I'm going to go ahead and I brought this inside. The motor seems like it's about, went down to freezing the other day, but the motor here, it seems like right now it's about 50, 60 degrees. It's not super cold. So it's almost like the shaft's not connected up to the motor. So I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and let this thing warm up and try it again, but I think it's got a bad motor. That's a ES200 unit. Here's it compared to the Pro Shop Bauer. And I was using this for mobile use, and it just started giving out this code. So before this happened, what happened is that I went to sharpen somebody's pair of skates, and it kind of stalled. So what I ended up doing is I went through and moved the cam to be like figure skates, so it's a little bit farther down, and that worked. So it was kind of like the thing was a little bit wimpier. Now it's almost like the motor, the torque of the motor is either collapsed, or mechanically it's not, shaft's not connected to the, I'm sure that's a brushless motor. Well, a little bit frustrating. This is a Sparx ES200, bought, it's made in 2022, and the motor's just gotten to be wimped out and thrown an error code. Got to be about a week or two ago, I couldn't use the 4 setting, which I normally had to use. I had to drop it down because the motor was stalling out, so I thought it was cold. Didn't want to work yesterday when it was about 40 out. And this motor here has been in a car. It's about 50 degrees because it's a warmer day today. So got the unit in here, and we're going to attempt to go through here and do a grind. It's got a 5/8 inch disc. The motor's really not spinning up to speed, so there it is, stalled. And you got the 236 error code, 2, 3, and 6. So I'm going to take this thing inside and warm it up and see if that's the issue. I think in another video somebody said they had some bad motors on them, so I've probably sharpened only about 50-60 pairs of skates max on this thing. It's been pretty good, but just the other day it got to be where didn't want to go. Looks like it's got a 220418 date code or part number on the motor. So it's probably April 2022. And I didn't notice this error code when I did it the other day. Turn it off. Turn it back on again. We'll see what happens. Just gonna bring the motor home. Try it again. Got a lot of noise outside. Sorry about that. Doesn't sound like it's really going up to speed. Almost sounds like the armature's not hooked up to the... It's like it's lost torque, or it sounds like it's just not... I'm sure this is a direct drive.